Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to talk to you about clairaudience, so stay tuned. So on this channel we talk about all things spiritual. I have many videos on tarot, astrology, and psychic development. So you'll want to make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification below in order to receive an email that I have posted a video. And also you can join me on Facebook and Instagram. All of the links are in the description. So today we're going to talk about clairaudience. So this is another video in our series of looking at all of the clairs. So clair means clear, and audience is about hearing. So this is about clear hearing. And it's one of the many ways in which we can tap into psychic information. So as I've said in my other videos, I really consider us to be having a physical experience, but we're really spiritual beings, and that we can connect to the other side, and there's really a veil that is between us and the other side. Very similar to the High Priestess in the tarot deck. She has that veil behind her, and she's really that conduit who can connect to the other side. So I look at it like our physical experience, we do have limitations. We aren't, we do have that veil there. We aren't able to remember our past lives and remember every, moment and experience of our soul and our higher self. So we're having a physical experience which gives us some limitations, and there are some limitations to that. Having said that, I think that we can, really look at what are the ways in which we can, peek through that veil and get some information for ourselves so that we can have more guidance. And I'd also like to say that this video is really about information only. It is not, formal education. If you wanted to take a look at your own psychic development and be utilizing these skills for yourself or clients, you should seek out a mentor or teacher and research all kinds of information that is out there. So with regard to clairaudience, I'm very excited about doing this video because it relates to the fifth chakra, or the throat chakra. And I can tell you that I have a very strong throat chakra. It's one of the ways that I, am able to pick up on information, along with clairvoyance, which is my third eye. But it's really one of the stronger ways that I do. So I have a lot of information I wanted to talk to you about today and to share with you. So the throat chakra relates to communication of all different forms. So it can be listening skills, our ability to, hear maybe what other people aren't saying. So telepathy, but what they're thinking. So that thought, which is in energy form, is able to be transferred, and we can hear it through our throat chakra. It's also about communication with others and communication with the other side. So as psychics and mediums, we often talk about clairaudience, or hearing, spirits, or hearing what they're saying. So I'm going to explain to you a little bit about what that means and how that might come across to an individual who is trying to pick up on information through their hearing. So first of all, it is not typically through your physical ear or your physical hearing. It's typically through an inner ear. Although I've heard things physically on several occasions, it doesn't happen that frequently. So if you, sit around and wait for a big booming voice in your physical ear to come through, you might have that happen once or twice in a lifetime, let's say, but you may not have that happen very frequently. So really, when we're talking about hearing, it is often an inner dialogue. It is an inner hearing. And that's, I think, because we are really picking up on energy. We're picking up on thoughts, which are energy. So that thought form comes to us, and we don't necessarily hear it, we intuit it. So in order to intuit or hear something, we hear it internally through our inner ear, or we sometimes talk about it as being an inner dialogue. You have to really work with this in terms of meditation, seeking information, and also, advice maybe from a teacher or a mentor, because you want to make sure that you're not just picking up on information of your ego voice. And some people will say, well, what's the difference between the two? And that's really about experience. You get experienced in knowing when it's natter in your own mind and it's your ego's voice, and it's your kind of negative self-talk and things like that. That can be quite different in the way that I hear it internally when it's something spiritual or some spiritual information coming to me. So I actually hear the information on the right side of my brain, and that's one of the ways that I know that I'm hearing the information spiritually. So it actually is very much localized right here in this ear, and it is localized in this part of my brain. And interestingly, I actually have a friend who's a medium as well, and as we got to know each other, she said exactly the same thing, and I thought, oh, that's very interesting, because I thought that was just specific to me. And then I actually heard that in a video the other day as well. So perhaps there is something to that, but it is on the right side for me in terms of hearing information. So it tends to sit right here, and that's one of the ways that I kind of pick up on, the information coming to me. The other thing is, like I said, it's not a physical voice, so it's an inner dialogue. So it may be that I'm asking a question and then I'm waiting for that answer to come to me in this part of my brain, or I'm hearing something internally. So it is often someone speaking to me, or I can hear a voice saying something, or I can hear an inner dialogue. And that again is an internal voice. So that's the information I'm personally looking for when I'm working as a tarot card reader / psychic. And that information I feel is coming to me, spiritually as messages. The other way that I hear information is often when I'm in meditation. And I say this in all of the videos, that there's really various ways and places that I might hear the information, and I might hear it in different ways. So when I'm going into a meditation, which of course before we do any spiritual work, we should do a grounding and a protection meditation, and then opening our chakras properly. And I'm going to talk to you about some crystals that are great for your throat chakra in just a minute. So when we are going into a meditation after we've done our, preparatory meditation, I personally am connecting with my guides, who are usually standing on the right, and I can hear an inner dialogue with them. And if it's someone else's guides who've come to talk to me or visit with me, then I would hear them on my left. So that information is really like a dialogue. The other way that I hear it is that if I go up to the AKASHIC records, for example, and I'm hearing information from other guides or masters, and that information is being given to me very conversationally. So I will listen to the conversation. I also sometimes in past lives have been given a movie to watch, essentially. So I'm watching a movie play out in front of me. So it's visual, but I'm also hearing things that are being said. Or I can pick up on through telepathy, I can pick up on the information that someone is thinking within the movie. So they may not be physically speaking, but I know what they're thinking because I'm telepathically picking it up. I also use this particular clair when I'm doing prayer, or kind of a prayer / meditation, when I'm really talking to my higher self, or I'm talking to spirit, and I am then getting information that's coming back to me. So for example, last night I had insomnia, and I was actually thinking about a particular thing, and so I started asking questions in order to seek information. Often it's about what's the next step that I need to do, for example, with my health or what have you. So that voice will be coming back to me, and I will be hearing that as a dialogue as well in a prayer kind of situation. So I also receive information during tarot card readings. So this is the way that it comes to me in tarot card readings. I actually have a few different pieces of information that will come to me. So certainly clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. I will see a picture during a reading, or clairaudience. I'm hearing something. So on the recording, I'm always recorded during my readings, and then I send them the audio later. So you'll hear on the recording if I say something like I'm hearing them say, or they're telling me, that means that I heard the information. If I say I am seeing, then that means that I actually got a picture. So it's just a clue of the words that I'm using. I'm literally using the words of however it is that I actually receive the information. So when I'm in the tarot card reading and I'm looking at the cards, often I will hear information coming to me about what the tarot cards mean, or I'll hear them say, you need to consider another option of what that card means, or I might hear them tell me about a certain situation or scenario. So those are the pieces of information that I'm looking for as a tarot card reader / psychic, so that I can receive information as clearly as possible. This often does feel very different to me than my logical mind. So when I'm in the middle of a tarot card reading and there's something logically that I need to figure out. So for example, I'm counting out cards, or I'm determining which astrological planets are being repeated, or I'm looking for patterns. All of that's very logical, and I tend to use my brain over here somehow. It seems to be more in the front part of my brain where I'm logically trying to figure something out. When I'm receiving information, I'm actually not struggling to figure something out. I'm actually not thinking about figuring something out. So that's another clue that, you know, it's information that's just flowing to me. I'm actually not logically trying to figure it out. So I'm going to show you a few crystals and stones now that are great for your 5th throat chakra. So I'm going to show you some of the really common ones and some of my favorites. So this is actually blue lace agate. And blue lace agate has a very beautiful kind of calming energy. So is blue angelite. It's an extremely calming stone. So if I'm having issues with communication, or I want some type of communication to go really calmly and really well, I'll actually hold or, you know, put in my pocket a blue angelite or a blue lace agate. And here's a few more. There's a blue apatite. That's a very large sample of it. I've got a little one here as well, so they can come in all different sizes. And here's a blue chalcedony. Some people say chalcedony. I'll put the names, of course, below. And here is a blue kyanite. I'm sure all of them are looking kind of similar to you guys at this point, and here's a blue sodalite. Okay, so that just gives you a few examples of some of the great stones that you can get for your throat chakra. I personally use crystals and stones in a very significant way for my meditations. I have several that I hold in my hands. Very much the upper chakra stones I tend to focus on, as well as grounding stones. I also am gridded around with clear quartz crystal when I'm doing my meditation. Additionally, when I'm doing my tarot card readings, I always have crystals in my hands or crystals right next to me, and then I have larger samples of crystals that will be sitting on my table. So that's just to give you an idea of some of the ways that you can use them, and you know that you can take a look at reading information about how you may be able to use crystals and stones as well to enhance your throat chakra, and therefore enhancing your clairaudience capabilities. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a like or a thumbs up. Take care. Have a great day.